So 2024 is coming to a close, and I wanted to do a quick video on my favorite exercises of the last 12 months. I did a lot of recording of exercises over the end of last year and for the majority of this year because I filmed every single exercise I did. That's partly because I wanted to challenge, partly because I used it for my exercise library for my functional muscle program. So I wanted to do a quick top 10 rundown of my top favorite exercises. So in no particular order, exercise number 1 is the good old-fashioned single arm dumbbell press. Lots of variations I did of this over the year: single, alternating, elevated, across the bench. But the exercise itself is just a good, solid, functional strength exercise. You use your core, you use your glutes. And I think it's just a great overall exercise. So that is always going to be in there in some capacity. Exercise number 2 is, again, a kind of staple that if I did this list for 10 years, it would always be in there in some way, which is the rear foot elevated squat. In my gym, I'm lucky enough to have the rear foot elevated roller, so it makes that exercise much easier to do the way it's intended, and where you don't game it by turn it into a predominantly single leg exercise. Number 3 is chin-ups. Again, always going to be in there. And this year, I think I've done more varieties of chin-ups, pull-ups, whatever you want to call them, than I've done before. Because I've tried to add different varieties to do different angles. Sometimes it's been body weight, sometimes it's been different grips, different handles, different holds. But it always comes around to me doing low repetitions of 6, 5s, 4s, and 3s. It's just a brilliant practical exercise and should be a part of everyone's training program. Number 4 is something I've done for my entire life, and this is the thing that got me into exercise in the first place, which is martial arts training. But specifically, I've put on the heavy bag, because the heavy bag is something that you cannot cheat. At the end of the day, if you're going to hit it, you want to hit it hard, because if you don't, you just embarrass yourself. You look like a moron. Make noise out of it. I've always said, and I maintain this, that nothing gets you fitter, faster than combat training, and that means especially sparring or hitting the heavy bag as hard as you can. Number 5 is sprints. I have a love-hate relationship with sprints because when I get up to max speed, sometimes I feel like I'm about to explode. I think it's just a brilliant exercise. It uses so much of your body. It's explosive, it's powerful, it's coordinated, and at the end of the day, it's something, again, that you yourself out of a situation. You don't have to do them very often, but you should do some kind of sprint. And if you can't do a sprint, you need to at least work your way up to running at a fast speed for an extended period of time. Filming has been interrupted because the dogs want to come out to urinate on their pee pad. Hurry up. All right, next, number 6 is a brilliant addition to my weapons arsenal, which is a landmine attachment that's a bit like a trap bar with rotating handles. This thing has been brilliant because I really enjoy doing cleans, but I've the old injuries, yada, 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 wrist injuries from all the combat training. So I always have to sacrifice something if I do cleans. It's usually my shoulders or my wrists. This solves that problem. It allows me to get that valued triple extension, maximal effort, and it takes all the pressure off the shoulder and all the pressure off the wrists. And I think it's a brilliant piece of kit. And I personally use this maybe once every 2 weeks. It's cycle it in continuously into my training program. It's excellent. Next is, speaking of trap bars, is the good old-fashioned trap bar, but used for trap bar jumps. Jump training is something that is not always easy to incorporate scientifically, but the trap bar jump is a nice way of adding jump training and having it kind of a little bit safer because there's less moving parts. And the benefit of that trap bar is it keeps the body, so it's much easier to control. I used to do barbell back squat with, jump, and it was always awkward. It was landing on your neck. The trap bar solves that problem. Nice lightweight, concentrating on acceleration. Again, using the same kind of basic tools, but using them in a slightly different way. Another piece of specialist kit that I brought in this year and at the end of last year is the safety bar squat. Again, for the same reasons I have difficulty cleaning. Because of the shoulder issue, if I do back squats, I end up having this rotation because my shoulder is so sore that it automatically forces me into rotation. The safety bar squat, again, allows me to squat safely, keeping everything in line without that constant thought of, this is going to kill my shoulder. When you do squats, the last thing that you should be thinking about is your shoulder. You should be thinking about keeping everything in line where it should be. And the safety bar squat really just solves that problem. Again, another really useful piece of kit that if your gym doesn't have one, ask them to get one because it really is a game changer. And one of my favorite things I brought into my training at the end of 2023, and I've used a lot in 2024, is my forearm work, my grip training, my roller. I basically bought it's like a Rolling Thunder, it's called Rolling Thunder handle. It's like the size of a can of Coke and it spins. But I love grip training. I've always loved grip training, and this is just something, like I always say, grip is absolute. You can either do it or you can't. You can hold it or you can't. You carry it or you can't. And when you've got that weight on there, you can either pick it up or you can't. It's as simple as that. So yeah, grip training for me is something I just enjoy doing, and it's relatively safe in terms of maximal loads compared to some of the other lifts you might do. And the last thing is something that I used to do a lot that I kind of really lost interest in. And I'm not going to call it an exercise, more like as an approach or something that is essential to your exercise. My workouts always have the preparation, all that kind of stuff, foam rolling, all this kind of stuff. But one thing I really avoided was, a while ago I set myself a challenge to stretch every day for a month, because I used to be pretty flexible with all the martial arts training. And then I realized as I got into my 40s that I was really losing a lot of that suppleness. So I added it back into my routine. And now every week I spend at least 3 times 10 to 15 minutes of additional stretching work. I call it 5-minute mobility. I even have a series of YouTube videos of 5-minute mobility because I still don't enjoy stretching, but it's something that is very important. So as an exercise, mobility is essential and will remain always in my top 10. So that's the list. I hope you enjoy it. If you get any new ideas from this, or some things you think you might have missed, or some things that you think I might benefit from or enjoy, stick them in the comments. And who knows what 2025 will bring. Let's see at the end of the next year if I've changed any of those exercises. I think most of them will stay, but there may be something that comes in and kicks something else out. Let's see.